better. Everything I do is just the same. I just want to say thank you to you. See, I'm living like I prepare myself for my better. Never forget where I come from.
Hey. Before the President's address, I'd like to crave your indulgence to watch a documentary of about 15 minutes. Thank you.
It's coming down. Wait, yeah, it's coming down.
Accounting organization founded in 1975 with a mandate to advance the science of accountancy, is a leading body expanding the frontiers of professional accounting practice. With a history spanning 42 years and high reputation for producing ethical and proficient accounting professionals, the structure of ANAN has consistently prepared and trained professionals for leadership to take ANAN to higher levels. On the strength of this legacy, Professor Muhammad Akaruminova, MNI, FCNA, rose to become the 11th President and Chairman of Council of the Association. He was admitted into membership in 2002 and attracted the interest of founding fathers of the Association, late Dr. Late President Sunday Alaba, through his value addition and excellent track records.
I became a member of the association about 20 years ago, and it started when the college director general at that time, Benjamin Jaffa, came to Ahmadu Bello University where I was lecturing in 2001. And he came and talked to the students that he was trying to mobilize the students so that after graduation, they should come to the college and become part and parcel of the association. During the interaction, I now raised the issue with him that it is easier for them to get the lecturers to the members. Once the lecturers are members, then it will be easy for the students to see that their lecturers are members of the association, then they can then join. So when we started the discussion, he now asked me to apply, and I applied, and later I was given a membership. I was inducted in 2002.
With a resolute commitment to drive the association to greater heights, Professor Mainovas assumed office in April 2019 as president and effectively utilized his experience to develop innovative policies that has redefined activities and boosted productivity of the association. But these are not without some challenges.
During the AGM in 2003, Umar Hamid became president. So there was also some level of discussion during the AGM, annual general meeting. And after the annual general meeting, committees were formed. I was made part of the education committee, committee of council, education committee. I was a member. And the then Vice President, Professor Ewok, was then the chairman of our committee. So from there, when Iwo became president, I was made a member, the chairman of the examination committee of the association. From there, when Sam Nzekwe became president, I was made the chairman of mandatory training. And I did that for 4 years before I became a member of council. When I became a member of council, I started with membership secretary. Then thereafter, I became second vice president, then first vice president, then I became president in 2019. The number one challenge is the issue of getting a befitting place in Abuja as the headquarters of the association. The second challenge was the COVID. Immediately I took over, the issue of COVID started around February. So it was a major issue that activities, the economy was locked down. So again, and the activities of the association require some level of coming together. So those two, if you like, are really major challenge. So the first, we were able to acquire this particular property at Amabushi, and of course, we don't have the money. So again, the challenge of finance. And the association never had went to bank before to borrow. So I had to convince them that we have the capacity, we have the wherewithal we have what it takes to borrow and pay back. And we're able to borrow about 500 million naira, and we pay within 4 months. So that is a major milestone in the association that we're able to do that. And we acquired the property, and we are now inside. The second challenge of COVID, because the issue of meetings were becoming difficult because of the lockdown, we had to introduce the issue of doing some of the programs online, and also the issue of batch NCPD was introduced. So those are the kind of challenges, and we are able to address them.
Professor Meloma's fervent belief in diligence, career advancement, and capacity building are reflected in the impact of his achievement in taking ANAN to greater heights. No wonder he was dubbed the digital president.
If we summarize the major things we have done, I'll call them the 4S. The first is what I call supporting infrastructure. We are able to get a befitting secretariat that we can operate, and we have enough space even for our future use. We are able to complete the multipurpose auditorium in the college. It was a project that spanned for about 6 years. We were able to complete it, and we used over 400 million to be able to meet that feat. We were able to renovate all our buildings in the college, including that of Gwarimpa, and we put them to standard use. We were able to do some of the restructuring of some of the infrastructure in the college. For instance, there is an abandoned market and motor park that were able to remold it into a shopping complex that is now useful in the college. So that is, in terms of support infrastructure, that is a major achievement. Then there is what I will also call sustainability. And in terms of sustainability, because of things happening as a professional organization, we need to find other ways of raising money, not just relying on membership dues. And that is why we were able to float a university. And we have now a license for the university that way, apart from advancing the science of accountancy through researches, we will also be able to raise revenue that can also augment the kind of revenue we can get from professional services. We are also floating a polytechnic, and we have also developed some level of partnerships with some other organizations that we can do programs together so that we can leverage on each other's strengths, and that is going to actually add to the issue of sustainability. Then The third major S is what I call systems and structure, and those things we are able to do in those areas include decentralization of examinations. And before now, all our examinations were taking place in JOS, but we are able to now develop a structure where we can now sit for examination in Port Harcourt, in Enugu, in Lagos, in Kano, in Abuja, and in Gombe, apart from one in Jos. So this is, and we're able to test run it and do it successfully for the last examinations. And we have also introduced what we call EMCPD to the level that there are organizations that we have approached and they've agreed we can take them like FIRS, like the Army, like the police, that we can to do. In terms of system and structure also, we have extended with ministries and parasites. We do things regularly with them. And we are also able to do certain functions that we are not doing. Workshops that even our branches were able to do. They organize 10 we do in Delta that they are able to call forum of accountants, and we're there to support them to be part of that kind of a system. We are able to produce practical workshops for our students in the college in terms of audit trail, in terms of hands-on computerized accounting for our students in the system and structure, the third one. Then in salary substantially to keep us and also to motivate others that we are able to increase the staff to meet the challenges of able to change the cadre before all accessories and all that. We now change it to they can direct affairs of seeing them as assistants to some other people. So those are the kind of things that we are able to add additional quality staff. We make the office environment very conducive for them. They are willing to stay hours. We have defined schedules for this that they know this. So those are some of the achievements that we have about during.
In the future, Professor Minova believes the association will lead the accountancy profession in Nigeria and by in Africa. The peculiarity coupled with the performance of its highly skilled men, ANAN will naturally assume leadership by its national and international networks, which it will continue to annex and broaden.
He used to give his best to ANAN. He went to the national and gave acquired accolades. ANAN established the first and ever known university, a professional university in Kwara, Jos. The first in Nigeria, the first in Africa, and of course,
It's time of leadership. We have generated agreements, collaboration. ITAC speaks about ANAN as a leader in the public sector. Our organization, the professional accounting organization, in the rest of Africa. The decision of ANAN because of the niche sector environment. Under his leadership, we have Nigerian College of Accountancy brought the curriculum with the International Educational Standards 2020. That curriculum makes ANAN future skills, both soft and technical requirements.
The outgoing president is optimistic that he feels can be achieved. So, as much as possible, he is determined to achieve his goals. I wish him success, like leader, and that he will go higher at the starting point.
Professor, I am happy to know an office. This is the second time because I handed over to him when I was the president and took over from me. So, and the that beautiful, the immediate past president still don't be part and parcel of. So, and work together for the past. Right, that when we work together harmoniously, very smooth.
The Chronicle of Professor Mohammed Akaremi as ANAN president will forever resonate as a legacy of excellence.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together. 11th president, the outgoing president of ANAN, Professor Mohammed Akaremi, valedictory.
Incoming president of ANAN, other council past presidents, fellows of the association, other members of the association, the entourage of the incoming president, including his dear wife, my dear wife, ladies and gentlemen. Ideal leadership is about service. We also therefore attempt to chronicle the service we have rendered within the last 2 years. We shall attempt to present them under the system development, examination development, growth, viability, capacity building, and enhanced visibility. That gives us service. Had those things we have done about them, it does not require reputation. We have examination development, which comes in 7 different centers. We have had that we are in a position now to earn income from other activities, from professional services, to do researches with the university that can also be promoted to the professorial level because of the availability. I'm sure you have seen ANAN more attractive to others. Please join us with the label that are cooperation and partnership that ANAN is poised. In terms of course, we have developed capacities and we have increased in. We are today to say that ANAN is certainly united. We are convinced it will be greater than today for some kind reasons. First, I know Professor Osisioma very well. He likes quoting what is good. Quote anything I bring forward. And we have worked to the end. All of us will also rally to ensure that he does greater things than he has made. A wonder, and I believe the association to meet the aspiration of members. And the association is part of greater growth. And the past presidents, they are big. Kept aside, and yet continue to give us the desire. All tirelessly last 2 years. I believe posterity. Let me thank the membership. And plead that indeed a pleasure to say thank you for the association and thank you. And where you things room, please find in your heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Please.
Coming President, Professor Hilda E. Osisioma, to the high table to take the side. Please put your hands together as Professor Hilda. Thank you. I'd like to recognize the presence of dignitaries here in our midst. The representative of the President Institute of Nigeria, Babatunde Pele, together for him. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the representative of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Sylvester C. Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce members of the high table to sit. Today is Professor Mohammed Al. President and incoming President Canon, Professor Benjamin Chuka Osisioma, FCNA. Second Vice President, Dr. Kerari Neminebo. Next, Alhaji Shehu Usman Ladan, the Treasurer of the Vera Talati Kishimu. Please put your Dr. Ibrahim Babajide Awe Abola, Secretary. Mr. FCNA. Alhaji Mohammed Bulama, FCNA, Council Member. Jelabi, FCNA, Council Member. Mr. Clayton Okuchukwodo, FCNA, Professor Suleiman A.S., FCNA, Council Member. Mr. From FCNA, Alhaji Ibrahim Hussein Gidado, FCNA, Council Member. Alhaji Kabir Dankara Mohammed, Anyawu, FCNA, Council Member. Dr. Olawa Wale, FCNA, Council Member. The Chief Executive Association, Dr. Nuruddin Abba Abdullahi, MNI. The Chief Operating Officer Association, Ahmed Mohammed, FCNA. The Director of Legal and Council Affairs, Barrister John O. Ama. Thank you very much. I'll call on the past presidents before. Past presidents, Dr. Samuel Okudukwe, FCNA. FCNA. Mariam Ladi Ibrahim, FCNA. Alhaji Dr. Sakin Tunji Labode, FCNA. Mr. Anthony Chukwuemeka. All right, thank you. I also recognize the presence of the Director General of the College of Accountancy, Dr. Kayo Ushola Fashua, FCNA. The Vice Chancellor of Universities in our midst, Professor Musa Inua Fodio. I'd like to recognize the presence of past Reka Agemade, Dr. Sunday A. FCNA, past Director General of Nigeria, Jeffa, FCNA. Your Highness Igwe Uchime, Chief Egabo, and of CITN. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for we have General today, Mr. Adela from Mr. Davidson. Thank you very much, I beg your pardon, Professor of Chief Babatunde Gafara, FCNA. Past President, Chief Mrs. Gafara.
Professor Andy.
Of FRC, Dr. Anyahara. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for observations. Announcing the presence of dignitaries as we proceed. A moment of fathers of ANAN. In honor of our founding fathers, FCNA, FCNA, the past presidents of the minute silence in their honor. May their souls rest in peace. Amen. I'd like to recognize the presence of accountants, ACC. Together for him. I'd like to Mr. Jane, Professor Jane, and for her. Thank you very much, Executive Officer.
I call on the outgoing President to invite the President to step forward recognition.
My successor, Professor Benjamin Chuka, will kindly step forward for recognition.
May I request the incoming President to remain standing to take the oath? No. Incoming President, okay. I step forward and may I call on the legal.
Synopsis of the incoming president. Prophet, though the family of Osisioma, October 14, 1950, in Ebu, Nanka, Urumba, and Montana government area of Anambra State. He is Nigeria, ANAN, 1983. In accountancy, 1977. All the degrees from prestigious Nigeria in soccer. Done postdoctoral trainings in leadership, ethics, and corporate governance. University of Pittsburgh, 2010, of America. Singapore, 2010. British Management Institute, Dublin. Professor Osisioma holds the fellowships professional bodies. They include Fellow, Institute of National Management, 1991, Fellow, Association of National Nigeria, 2005, Fellow, Institute of Management and Consultant, 2005, Fellow, Chartered Institute of Public Administration, Nigeria, 2005, Institute of Strategic Management, 2005, Institute of Industrial Administration, 2007, Fellow, Nigerian Institute of Management 2014, Fellow, Nigerian Accounting 2015, and Fellow, Society for Prevention 2017. He is also a member of International Association on Research and an associate member of US-based Association of Certified Fraud Examiners 2002. Professor Benjamin Osisioma was the foundation scholar at the University of Nigeria in his undergraduate days, 1974 to 1977, and a federal scholar for his postgraduate studies, 1981 to 1983. He was at graduation both at departmental and faculty prize winner. He served variously over time as senior lecturer, principal lecturer, professor, head of department, dean of faculty, and director in different institutions. He has also served as full-time and adjunct professor for PhD supervision and at the myriad of English academics. The University of Oka, 1992-20, University of Ogun State, 2004-2005, Ebonyi State, 2002-2015, Technology, 1988 to 1991, and University of Jos, 1998 to 2002. He has also served as external assessors, examiners to several national and international universities, including University of Ghana, Business School, Legon, and Shada University, Greater Noida, professional appointment and doctoral and master's degree program. Professor Benjamin Osisioma has over 40 doctoral research and exams, out of which 45 have been elevated to rank of accounting and related students. He has also supervised and examined more than 200 MBAs, NYC theses in different federal, state, and private universities in Nigeria and abroad. He has authored not less than 19 books and monographs, in fact chapters in books of 2010, member PCC Church of Pentecost 2010 to 2013, coordinator Evangelism and Discipleship, Oka Diocese 2011 to 2018, recipient of the Diocesan Service Award 2016, ordained priest, Oka Diocese 2017, and preferred a Canon 2019. Professor Benjamin Osisioma is happily married to the love of his life, Hilda, and union blessed with 2 children, Osisioma and Adin. This is the brief citation of Professor Osisioma.
My body is a good mistake. I'm a professional photographer. I didn't do it occasionally.
I request the outgoing president to step forward and witness the oath taken by his successor. I invite the Director of Legal and Council Affairs of ANAN to swear in the new president standing before the outgoing president.
Oath of office for new president of Association of Accountants of Nigeria.
I, Professor Benjamin Osisioma, FCNA,
do solemnly affirm
that
I will be faithful
and
bear true allegiance to the Federal Nigeria
and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria
and Association of Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN,
and Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN,
that as President of Association of Nigeria,
that as President of Association of National Accountants of
I
Nigeria,
will discharge my duties to the best of my ability,
I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability,
faithfully,
faithfully,
in accordance with the enabling acts,
and in accordance with the enabling
the
acts,
regulations and rules,
the regulations and rules of the association,
as from time to time,
as may from time to
be
time
approved by the governing council of the
be
association.
approved by the governing council of the association.
That I will always conduct myself
That I will always conduct myself
and carry out my duties
and carry out my
in the
duties
best interest of the association.
in the best interest of the association.
That I will not allow
That I will not allow
my personal interest
my personal interest
to influence my official conduct
to influence my official
or
conduct
my official decisions.
or my official decisions.
That I will,
That I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve,
protect,
protect, and defend
and
the
defend
fundamental
the
objectives
fundamental
of the
objectives
association
of the association
as contained
as contained
in the act
in the act
establishing the association.
establishing the association.
That I will abide
That I will
by
abide
the ethics of the profession.
by the ethics of the profession.
That I will do right
That I will do
to
right
all members of the
to
association
all members of the
and
association
obey all lawful instructions
and obey all lawful instructions
of the governing council
of the governing
of the
council
association.
of the association.
That I will not directly
That I will not directly
or indirectly
or indirectly
communicate or reveal
to
any person
any person
any matter
any matter
which shall be brought under my
which
consideration
shall be brought under my consideration
or shall become known to me
or shall become known to me
as the president of the association,
as president of the association,
except as may be required
for the
for
discharge
of my duties.
of my duties.
So help me God.
So help me.
The President, Professor Benjamin Chuka Osisioma, FCNA, having taken the oath of office, I request the outgoing President to transfer the chain of office to the new President, assisted by the first and second Vice President.
And you're going to bend down. It's not one now and go. You walk the bundle. Yes, don't go down. Hold on.
Oh,
go now, leave.
Let's show Usman Lajan, MNI, FCNA, to step forward and correct the immediate past president, Professor Muhammad Agaru Nenoma, MNI, FCNA, to be assisted by past president, Mr. Anthony Kubeka Uzong, FCNA. Photographers, please draw back. They are constituting a problem to the program. Those behind the leadership also step aside. Please go back to your seat.
Okay, so now we'll go now.
I call on the new president and chairman of council, Professor Benjamin Chuka Osisioma, FCNA, to give his acceptance speech.
Chris. There is. Point up. There is. Is that corner? Yes. Fast. That corner, that uncle.
Can I have the pointer for the power?
Mayor.
Well,
Yes.
my immediate predecessor in office, Professor Akaro, MNI, presidents of ANAN.
Now you stand by stationary.
Distinguished council members here present, our rulers, we respect them so much. His Royal Highness Igwe Shikauchi was my classmate. He's currently and Oba.
Don't snap and go, please. I'm covering this offense.
Of Wepa One.
Don't stand by.
Is my chief-in-law. I'm marrying from his domain.
Confirm I'm on now, please.
So, you can see that I'm very well protected by the royal personalities here this day. I also plead all the already defined protocols, but I won't fail to mention my family, my wife and children, my sister. My elder sister is here. My elder brother, who saw me through life. Fortunately, for health reasons, he can't be here. So I have so much to thank God for on a day like this. Permit me to take you very quickly through what I have prepared this afternoon. The world is changing. If we play by the old rules, we will lose the new battles. I'm quoting Selwyn Hughes. The illiterate of the 21st century won't be those who can't read and write, but those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. If we focus on the tool but lose sight of the purpose, we are forever playing catch-up in a landscape of changing technology.
Today's think of information and communication as something like oxygen. They expect it. It's what they breathe, and it's how they live. They use ICT to meet, play, date, and learn. It's an integral part of their social life. It's how they acknowledge each other and form their personal identities. So if we ignore ICT and if it is not taking central position in our professional life, we will soon become irrelevant. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed, I think this place I'm standing is not conducive at all. But I think I'd better read my paper.
That's right.
It is with a deep sense of humility and extreme pride and confidence in the grace and power of God that I assume office today as the 12th President of Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN. The number 12, incidentally, is actually a representation of authority and perfection. It can also be viewed as a symbol of divine rule, the perfect government of God. No wonder the disciples of Christ were 12. The imams in Islam are 12. The main gods in Greek mythology are 12. And Odin had 12 sons of Norse mythology. There are 12 calendar months in a year, 12 hours on the face of the clock, 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. I could go on and on. What we are saying, therefore, is that we crave for divine wisdom, courage, and guidance as we march into the 12th presidency of ANAN. The chain of office and the oath that I swear to today remind me of 4 cardinal factors that must dominate my thoughts and mindset in the next 2 years. First, it is profoundly humbling that this chain that once adorned the distinguished shoulders of great men and women who have gone before me as the president of this association should this day sit on my small and nondescript shoulders. If indeed I see further than the generality of our members, it is only because I stand on the shoulders of these men and women who have gone before me. Second, the chain is one of privilege. I have been entrusted with the words of the hymn writer with a charge to keep, a God to glorify, and a never-dying soul to serve. Out of nearly 45,000 members of this noble association, I am one of the very few to be charged with the task of directing and leading the affairs of the body. It is both a privilege and a distinct honor. By the grace of God, I will not take this task lightly, nor will I abuse it. Third, the chain of office is first and foremost a chain. And being a chain, it could be for support or for restraint, linking widely disparate objects together. This calls for a measure of compromise and understanding. We must forge a united front. We must not let what happened to our sister body happen to us, where the professional body is considered the property of one part of this country. We must arrange things in a manner that anybody can come into ANAN and feel that it belongs to them. That's part of the responsibility we bear. And we are going to do everything possible to build this synergy. So a chain is also a restraint. It doesn't allow you to do things. You do certain things. It tells you how far you can go and no further. So to some extent, therefore, a chain could limit freedom of movement and thought or action. Finally, the chain, though it conveys some responsibility, some privileges with prerequisites following, it is primarily a responsibility to serve. It is a load to carry, a commission to fulfill, and a vision to realize. These are important imperatives that we'll bear in mind as we navigate the straight and rugged paths to professional growth and development. And we need every available and willing hand on deck if we must reach the promised land. Let me quickly talk about ANAN at 40. You know, ANAN just recently celebrated 40 years of its existence. And you can see the landmarks of that celebration. We thank God how far we have come in 40 years. We thank God for our heroes and heroines of the past who stood the ground, the bold ground, and worked to make sure that ANAN became a factor in the body politic of Nigeria. When the idea of a second professional accounting body came up in 1979, ACS accused our founding fathers of trying to water down the standards. Today, ANAN has changed the narrative. Boldly, they defined the extent and content of professional standards and dramatically raised the bar in professional practice. We owe the success story of our past to our heroes and heroines who toiled with little or no rewards to get us to where we are. We will never forget them. Some of them sacrificed their professional practice. Some of them sacrificed friends of a lifetime. Some of them sacrificed businesses to make sure that we're where we are. We remember them. Baba J.K. Odumeru, of blessed memory, and all the past presidents, the late Sir Peter Ibekwe, and the past registrars, past council members, and past members of the management team. Today we are proud recipients of their great sacrifice. May the sacrifice of these men and women never be in vain. I pause to recall that when I entered council about 10, 11, 12 years ago, Baba Odumeru was so ecstatic. He thanked God and said, may I live long enough to see you become the president of ANAN. Alas, last year he passed on. It was a difficult loss for some of us, but we thank him for the life he lived. We would also want to, on this occasion, consider it appropriate to acknowledge the sacrifice of the members of ANAN. You are the geese that, lay the golden eggs. You make the contributions. You exert yourself. Whatever plan we are making, we are hinging it on your cooperation, and you've always cooperated. We want to thank our members. You see, when we come for our programs and our members begin to jostle and hustle, they are not a disturbance to what we are doing. They are the reason for our actions. If they are not there, we will not be here. And so we want to acknowledge the sacrifice of our members. We want to salute the diligence of our staff and employees who over this long period have faithfully contributed their sweat, toil, and tears to keep ANAN afloat. Some of them have not always received their just reward, yet they have worked with little or no complaints. We salute their lifeless, selfless efforts. It will be appropriate at this point to challenge some of our ANAN members. ANAN is richly blessed with rich people, highly placed people. I find it difficult to understand why they just will not identify with the main body and lend help and become part of what ANAN is doing. We are praying that these men and women who have been elevated, each time they are elevated, we celebrate. We say, our member is the chairman of this, our member is the minister of that, our member is the commissioner in that. In the end, I look back, when they leave office, what have they contributed to ANAN? May God help our members to contribute something, so that we will all have our names on record that we have helped to build this edifice we call ANAN. God will bless us in this. to talk about, just briefly, rumbles of our recent past. I won't spend time on that. Everybody knows about COVID. I listened to the lady who said there's a directive not to mention COVID in some of the financial reports we make. Well, we won't mention it, but we'll mention it a little. You see, the COVID changed our priorities, changed our outlook, changed our all that matters to us. Somebody wrote a poem I found on the WhatsApp. She called it the day the earth closed down for repairs. For the first time in ages, the earth closed down for repairs. It was a moment of castration where growing egos, which needed some trimming, and bloated pride, some sharing, got through a surgery for character adjustment. Man, once great and arrogant, was defeated by the tiniest organism as earth closed down for repairs. I had never seen anything in all my life, and I've lived for 70 years plus. Suddenly, all schools were closed, motor parks closed, churches and mosques closed, auditoriums empty, gigantic stadia, nobody was there. What was happening? Busy streets deserted. It was a call for action, a moment of reawakening. And our situation has changed since then. Now what we, as business people, we ask ourselves, are our products still what they have always been? What of the markets we serve? Do we need to change the kind of markets we will serve? How do we approach the people we serve? Do we still use the old methods in order to attain the new goals? How do we need to change what we are doing? Indeed, in my paper, which I hope you will get, you will see that we took time to identify every questions that arise in these times. And if we're going to make progress as a professional body, we must answer those questions and attend to them. How are we going to redesign our products? We've heard the outgoing president talk, and he said, we're not introducing not just a batch training, special training. We now carry MCPD to people. Before it used to be coming on Monday, stay till Friday. We are now cutting everything short, readjusting in the face of changing times. That is the reality. And you know, someone said that the world has changed to things that happened before the crisis and things happening after the crisis. And we happen to be part of those who are in after the crisis. And this is the first administration coming into ANAN after the crisis. We don't underestimate the challenge we have. God will help us. It is in line with this thing at the back of our mind that we decided to put together a program of action for the next 2 years. Number one, ANAN University and the college. Well, I think some of you may still be able to read some of those things as we go on. ANAN University and the college. One of the most remarkable feats of the immediate past administration in ANAN is the licensing of the ANAN University. Wow. I say again what I said in council. Immediately I heard that the license was granted, I called the president. I said, congratulations, Mr. President. The university is your baby. Nobody's struggling for that. Nobody's in doubt of that. He didn't start the crusade, but he drove the agenda in a very aggressive manner. And it came to pass. We are happy and we are excited. We're also glad that the college was the midwife, the launching pad for the birthing of the university. The college provided the assets and resource base from which the university sprang up. Besides, for the past 40 years, the college has played a remarkable role in keeping this association afloat and vibrant. If I read the mood of the council aright, this administration will not do anything that will put the survival of either the college or the university in jeopardy. For a while, the debate has raged within the association whether or not the college should be independent of the university or an integral part thereof. We must acknowledge that each viewpoint has its own merit. However, it is important to observe here that the college is self-regulating, with its own laws, rules, and regulations safeguarded under statutes. The law does not invest any other outside body or authority with the right to oversee or superintend over the affairs of the college. To bring the college under a university regulated by an agency of government would be tantamount to throwing away the statutory cover the college presently enjoys. It would not be wise to sacrifice a 40-year success story for an emerging and untested possibility. One of the immediate tasks of this administration will be to build additional structures and work out existing arrangements that will make it possible for the university and the college to coexist side by side. I want to salute the wisdom and the choice of a vice chancellor, Professor Ino Afodio. That man can take a bow. He's a principled man and a man you can work with. A man you can work with. I have had opportunity to interact with him, and I'm sure that with his direction, we'll move in the right way. We must build a structure that will not be an embarrassment in future. A high-powered committee will be put in place from the very first day of this administration to ensure a smooth takeoff for the university and maintain mutual harmonious coexistence between both institutions. I'm just trying to tag along so that you see what we are doing. Okay, the next one is fiscal control and fund mobilization. If you look at the financial statement we looked at earlier on in the day, you'll discover that our revenue dropped by 32% in 1 year. That's almost a third of our revenue lost. What this means in plain language is that the association must find the means to increase revenue while maintaining a lid on expenditure. Consequently, this administration will embark upon 3 interrelated actions. First, we'll set up a strong and virile revenue generation committee, which must leverage on the goodwill of well-meaning members of the association to increase revenue. This committee must generate enough funds to justify its keep. Secondly, we must strengthen the internal audit of the association and make it a critical arm of the governance and administrative structure in the association. And thirdly, with the approval of council, we'll go for a hefty discount to all members who will clear subscription arrears within the next 6 months. I had Haji Abbas during the Ahmadiyya meeting suggest that we could ask our members who do debt recovery to work on this. We surely will take you up on that, because we must cut down on this debt overhang. Next is governance and administrative structure. This administration hopes to make extensive moves to improve corporate governance in ANAN and overhaul the entire administrative machinery. This is a promise. An institution that has no respect for its own laws is merely preparing the grounds for its own demise. We shall dust up the 2014 TINAPA declaration, which came out of the retreat held by ANAN Council and Management staff during the presidency of Al-Haji Tunji Lawal. If IFAC has nudged the association along a path of taking the profession to the public, both in our examinations and in the overall operating machinery. Thus, in the recent past, ANAN has decentralized the training centers and examination centers. In the past year, Council approved 7 centers across the nation for the administration of the examinations of the profession: Jos, Abuja, Gombe, Canon, Port Harcourt, Enugu, and Lagos. This is a good and necessary step in dispersing the services of the body across the Nigerian nation. In the same manner, this administration shall seek the support of Council to introduce regional offices for the regular operations of the association. As a first step, we will use the Lagos office as the regional office for the Southwest, and additional offices shall be opened in Enugu and Canon. The branches involved shall be encouraged to provide the needed structures for the takeoff of the regional offices. Ultimately, every geopolitical zone will attract a regional office. That's where we're going. Take it step by step. By this action, we shall widen the scope for the dispersal of the services of the association. We hope to take the services closer to the people, even while keeping an eye on the cost profile. In addition, we shall create a small administrative unit in the presidency to improve the efficiency and response time of the presidency to challenges of leadership and governance. This unit of 3 to 5 will ensure an enduring and vibrant link between the presidency and every part of the ANAN organization. We shall strive to improve efficiency of services rendered to members in the clear understanding that the members of the association are our bosses. Also, an advisory committee will be appointed to work with the president throughout the 2-year term of the presidency to ensure sound decisions, efficient implementation, and effective outcome on all policy matters. This administration is mindful of the roles played by our various presidents and leaders in the past. We remember his bulldozing style in confronting daunting challenges and difficulties. We recall with nostalgia his methodical and strategic approach to long-term programs of the association. And we deeply relish and cherish her capacity for networking, building bridges, and intervening in officialdom. I'm sure you know the people I'm talking about. We shall seek opportunities to exploit this resource base for the benefit of the association. We will gladly engage these titans as member consultants or advisors of our committees where their expertise is needed. Young and enterprising council members will also be given the opportunity once in a while to interact with these elders of ANAN. To ignore this vastly experienced and skilled manpower base is like cutting off our nose to spit our face. We will do everything in our power to get them committed to the mainstream of activities in the association. Confronting the digital challenge. One of the unintended effects of the COVID pandemic is the upswing in the demand for a digitized work environment. We will put this in full gear. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking with our twinning partner, CPA Ireland, and it was interesting to hear what the officers had to say. They had so digitized the work environment that their exams were technology-driven. Everything was, they used technology for everything, including supervision of examinations, invigilation. And I just thought to myself, at the earliest opportunity, we'll send a team of 3 or 4 to go and understudy what they're doing and try to achieve that, and even if possible, do better than they're doing. These are the realities of the times in which we live in. We are going to also challenge the College of Accountancy. The College of Accountancy must rise to the occasion of expanding, extending, and enlarging student enrollment to attain at least 10,000 students per annum within the next 5 years. The goal is a challenge, and I pray that they will live up to that challenge. The task includes a diligent harvesting of products of all the universities and polytechnics that teach accounting in Nigeria and abroad. We want our students to learn in the comfort of their homes, in Nigeria and abroad. We want to have a seamless digital capacity to harvest everybody who has an interest in improving his skills in accounting. To this end, we shall specifically extend the scope of the Education Committee to include training and ICT skills. The committee will, among other things, develop ICT course content for the training of students at the college and deploy relevant ICT tools for examining them, carry out research and educational visits to IT-based accounting associations within and outside the country, collaborate with IT-based PAOs for skills acquisition and empowerment training and workshops, and ease our members and staff of the association into a full and truly digital age. Government and public relations. Again, let me state that ANAN has an intimidating resource base comprising men and women of distinction in public and private sectors. Across the states of the Federation and even in federal service, we have a large proportion, accountants general, auditors general, directors, ministers, commissioners, just name them. Even in the uniformed forces, we have a prevalence in the number of members who are there. We want to appeal to them again, to mobilize, to get up. We are going to go to them. Part of the problem may be that we have not gone to them. Maybe we have not appealed to them the way we should. We will try in the next 2 years to go to them. We won't go cap in hand. We are not desperate. We will go as willing partners so that we can come and work with us and write their names in gold as being part of those who will change the new order. We pray that they will come. We have a new and modern College of Accountancy to build. We have regional offices to develop. We have nationwide teaching and learning to re-engineer. We have national conferences and workshops to sponsor. And we have training and capacity building sessions to organize. Let them come and contribute their quota. Closely allied to the foray into the public space, ANAN needs to return to the practice we had in the days when Dr. Sam Nzoko was the president. We had this very highly visible public image where some members of ANAN, very highly cerebral members of the profession, skilled and knowledgeable, came on air and they discussed national problems. We must return to that situation. We will build a public relations unit that will be bold. We will seek the help of marketers who will work as advertising agents too and bring this profession to where it ought to be. We are not advertising like products on the streets, but we want a high visibility for what we are doing. You listen to the president who just left office. All the things he did in office, how many people outside there know? So we want to build an image that will enable people to realize that we have done a lot, we have made a difference in the life of this nation. We will intend to resuscitate and sustain this move. We also want to strengthen the ANAN branches. A time may be coming when we may deny people certain advantages and privileges at the national level if they don't prove that they have been faithful at the state level. If our branches are strong and vibrant, the whole nation will know that ANAN exists. There's no way we can stay in Abuja and touch every nook and cranny of this country. We are too vast for that. That's why we need our branches to be active and vibrant. they must get up and lay hold on the challenge we have and move on to greater heights. We will give them every support they need. In some areas, we provide them matching grants. In other words, if they are embarking on a project we identify with, we will say, provide 50%, we provide the balance of the 50%. We will try, assuming that the funds are available. Yes, if the funds are not available, what do you want me to do? Through the branches and benevolence committee, the association will maintain greater control over the activities of the branches. We want to see that you prepare your budgets, you prepare your annual accounts, you prepare reports to members and send copy to head office. These things are there in paper. We want to see them in practice. We want a well-defined feedback system from the different branches to know how you are doing. We will also seek to have the kind of retreat we've had in the past, so that the members of our branches will all be on the same page as we march forward. These are some of the things we are going to try to do. And you will also help us to ensure that members in your branch pay their annual subscription. It's a very vital part of our life as a body. Then Society for Forensic Accounting. Society for Forensic Accounting and Fraud Prevention. The journey for this society started in 2007 when the idea was first mooted. The president then was Dr. Sam Zagwe. It was actualized in 2011 when the president was Chief Yamide Gafar. Even the cost of the registration of that body was not paid until Haji Amaram Ladi Ibrahim came in as president. It was in the cooler until our Haji Labode, please allow me breaking transmission. It was not for power failures. So, during the time of Haji Labode, he resuscitated this idea. What was the person he drafted? He said, get us a working arrangement that will make this society vibrant. So we're doing it, and he left office, and the thing was again, would have died. Thank God for Tony Nzom, who gave the society a lifeline, and it began to breathe. It has trained some of the, if you look at some of the pictures there, as far as we know, this is the only body in this country that trains people for professional forensic accounting. And the funny thing about this country is that the people who prevail are not those who are working, but those who are making noise. In the end, you just sit back and watch. The society needs a strong support. Let me say this. Our sister professional body has many foster groups they have set up. They support them. They groom them. Chartered Institute of Taxation, ICANN was there at the formation. Institute of Directors, ICANN was there at the formation. Which one again? Many of them. Female accountants, ICANN was there. Nigerian Accounting Standards Board. They did these things, groomed these bodies, and they became autonomous. We have just one. And the greatest problem that body has had has at times come from within ANAN. We will do everything to support it. We will give it our support. With the support of council, I will make sure that society is no longer undefined. Let me say in passing that one of the funny things I observed, our members, some of them traveled from Lagos to Kefi to attend the lectures of the forensic body. Some of them spent their money and their time and went to Jos to have the practical training. And they came back to Jos for the mute court trial under the aegis of the Nigerian Law School. The deputy president of Nigerian Law School was the chief judge in the mute court. And after all this, they collected qualifications. their employer never gave them any recognition for that qualifications. Not 1 naira. If you do not recognize your own qualifications, who will? We're going to do something about it. Fine-tuning global affiliation. I thank God that ANAN has become, indeed, in more ways than one, the beautiful bride of the profession globally. We are so happy at the way it has gone. November 7, 2014, we received IFAC support. And for record purposes, I've always said it, the day we were admitted into IFAC, 106 professional accounting organizations, PAOs, were in attendance. 103 were in support of ANAN application. 1 was against, only 2 were neutral. And we have this groundswell of support. Since then, it has translated into high global visibility. We have an MOU signed in November 2012 under the presidency of Haji Amarian Ladi Ibrahim with the SAIPA of South Africa. We have the other agreement when we were at Rome at the international conference. CIMA Global, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, signed again an MOU with ANAN. In the very next year, 2015, CPA of Ireland signed a mutual recognition agreement with ANAN. And since then, it's been going on and on and on. Today, we are glad that in November 2018, ANAN signed an MOU with Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. We are very proud of our relationship with the Chartered Institute of Taxation. And incidentally, the president is not here. Is the representative here? Take a bow. Take a bow. So we are proud of that body. Because if somebody could say you are good outside, you're not good at home. They have recognized our goodness at home. We're very happy about it. In September 2019, we signed an MRA with the Institute of Public Accountants of Australia. In November 2020, we signed an MOU with ACCA. And then within the past few days, we also signed yet another membership pathway agreement with the CPA of Australia. I am persuaded to believe that there's something good these foreign bodies saw in ANAN that made them come. We will do everything possible to ensure that what they have seen does not disappear. This administration will undertake to sustain this global confidence in the ANAN brand. I'm getting ready to round up. Metrics of leadership assessment. Management students worldwide talk about the trait approach to leadership. Task approach, where leaders look at the projects they have attained. There's another group, the people-oriented leadership. They look at how they make people happy and content when they serve. Stephen Covey added another approach. He called it principle-centered leadership. The metrics of leadership worldwide is shifting to principle-centered leadership. There's a way Drucker put it. Let me quote Drucker. He said, management should not appoint a man who considers intelligence more important than integrity. This is immaturity. It should never promote a man who has shown that he is afraid of strong subordinates. That is weakness. It should never put into a management job a man who does not set high standards for his own work. That breeds contempt for the work and for management's competence. A man might himself know too little, perform poorly, lack judgment and ability, and yet not do damage as a manager. But if he lacks in character and integrity, no matter how knowledgeable, how brilliant, how successful, he destroys. He destroys people, the most valuable resource of the enterprise. He destroys spirit, and he destroys performance, unquote. We will attempt in the next 2 years, God willing, to provide character-based leadership. We are not angels. We are imperfect human beings. We will make mistakes. I want to confess ahead of time before it happens. We will make mistakes. All we ask is that you understand and help us. All we are also saying that we will try, and try we must. That's all we ask of our staff. The time has come for us to put our hands together to the common plow and build a lasting relationship that will be to the glory of God and blessing of humanity. On my part, I personally commit to a virtue-oriented approach to decision-making based on a foundation of value-based leadership. Concluding remarks. It was Edmund Burke who said, and I quote, "A state without the means of some change is without the means of its conservation." If we don't know how to change in changing times, we are set for destruction. Peter Drucker put it this way again: managers must learn to build and manage a human group that is capable of anticipating the new, capable of converting its vision and technology, products, processes, and services, and willing and able to accept the new. The challenge of the future is how to anticipate the new, convert threats into opportunities, and accept and adapt to the novel and emergent. Since we do not have all the answers, and I assure you, I don't have all the answers, we shall endeavor to keep our ears and our hearts and our eyes open to suggestions and ideas that members can bring forward. We will galvanize public opinion, and we will gather ideas from different sources. A lady said, and I like quoting that quote, she said, "The greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who will not be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle to the pole. Men who will stand for the right, though the heavens fall." Today I'm publishing a vacancy in ANAN. We are seeking for men. If you fit the bill, step forward. We need you. We will seek for these men and women and gleefully deploy them to the business of reinventing and re-engineering the ANAN brand. We will celebrate them. We will promote them, regardless of the usual Nigerian virus of ethno-religious bias. That's our virus. But we will celebrate them wherever they come from. At the end of my 2 years in office, I would like to say to you all, here is what we all have achieved, not what I have achieved. This is the time to stand up and be counted. A couple of months back, I celebrated for the first time in my life a very noisy birthday, my 70th birthday celebration. Permit me to use this platform to thank all who graciously accorded me such honor. The most humbling moment for me was when one of our members came all the way from Burning Kebbi to Oka to celebrate the Thanksgiving with me. The secretary of the branch had traveled all night to arrive at Oka, Anambra State. And he came in after the church service had dismissed. Even if I lived to be 100 years, I would not be able to fully pay the debt of gratitude I owe to all of you, members, friends, and family. Thank you. I must not end this address without paying special tribute to individuals who have made so much difference in my life over the years. My wife and children, who have always believed in me and encouraged me to be the best that I can be. My elder brother and his wife, he paid the price for my education and sustained me all through life till I could fend for myself. I ate the food on their table and enjoyed the comfort and shelter of their home. My siblings and close relations, who have always prodded me on the path of ascendancy and new heights. And then this group blew me, my students, who upon my retirement took it upon themselves to celebrate me beyond my wildest dreams. They have proved to me that the labors of the past and the investment in their young and enterprising lives was worth it. I would also want to place on record my gratitude to my immediate predecessor in office, Professor Maidoma. He charted a bold and audacious course for ANAN and dared to raise the bar in governance. The new ANAN office complex, the new ANAN University at Kwal, and the survival measures put in place at the peak of the COVID-19 threat, these are enduring legacies of his stewardship. We thank him for the great strides he brought to ANAN this past year. Finally, I consider it both appropriate and necessary to bow in worship and gratitude to the eternal and awesome God who has made this day even possible. To him be all the glory. In the words of Paul Peters, my prayer remains, Lord, when I am wrong, make me willing to change. When I am right, make me easy to live with. So strengthen me that the power of my example will far exceed the authority of my rank. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. The sign of handover notes, please.
I request the permission of the President to allow the Director Legal Account to lay before the House the handover note.
Don't clap, don't clap.
Osisioma chuka.
The presence of family members of the I'd like to acknowledge the presence of family members of the President.
Snap and go.
Elsie Obonna, Osisioma, elder sister to the President. It's a round of applause for her. Thank you. Engineer and Mrs. Osisioma, brother. Engineer and Mrs. Theophilus Adini and children. Mrs. Ngozi Umerie, okay.
I'd
like to acknowledge the presence of special guests, Professor Charles Okuchukwu Efimonim, who is the Vice Chancellor, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka. Put your hands together for him. It is represented by Mr. Rozier Ebuatu, Director of Procurement, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka. I'd like to acknowledge Sir Victor Umafo, former Acting Chief Security Officer, Presidential Villa, Abuja. Acknowledge the presence of Barrister Dr. Joe Obiajulu Ebunike, FCNA, is the Deputy Inspector General of Police Accounts. He graciously availed us this police band playing right now. Put your hands together for DIJ Ebunike. I'd like to recognize the presence of Honorable Commissioner of Finance, Nasarawa State. I'd like to recognize the presence of Sir Stanley Uchenna Ezobi, former Managing Director, Lupenco Pensions Limited. The President of the Society for Forensic Accounting and Fraud Prevention, Mr. India Rajimbaku. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Professor Uche Waleke, President, Capital Market Academics of Nigeria, ACMAN.
Oh my God.
I'd like to acknowledge the Chancellor ANAN University Quad, His Royal Majesty Dr. George Oshiapi Egbabo Oberzewan. ANAN University Quad, Mr. Kong Dengi Efa. The boss of ANAN University present here, Mr. Onile Maduka Patrick. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the wife of the immediate past president, Hajia Dr. Hawa'u Mainoma, CNA.
Snap and go. One is okay.
Proceed to good room messages. We're taking good room messages and gift presentation. 2 minutes each. Each good room message from CITN. We'll take 2 minutes each from the president or the representative of the president. CITN, ACCA, ICANN, and PROAN, along with gift presentations falling out. Gift presentation from Society of Forensic Accounting and Fraud Prevention. Gift presentation from Society for Forensic Accounting and Fraud Prevention right after the Google messages. Gift presentation from Zenith Bank's Bukuru branch. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Chief and members of staff of the NCA, please be guided that we snap pictures of the president after this. Goodwill messages, please. Like to start with the representative of CITN. Come forward for goodwill messages.
Osisioma Benjamin. EJ.
Can we say the goodwill messages? Alright, please settle down. I want to make goodwill messages from representative of the president, National Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Mr. Ruth Arokoya.
Alan Chairman, Abuja branch.